Boy, here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Good morning, slaves, and welcome to another edition of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine, where our mantra is Om Mani Padme Boom. I am your host, the Stimulator, and I am happy to announce that this is our 30th episode. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, stop that. Hey, chill. Settle down, motherfuckers. Save your energy for the DNC and the RNC. Yeah, I know you forgot, but I am here to remind you that the Republican conventions are less than 6 months away, and we need you there. So start making plans. In other riot news, Buddhist monks in Tibet let go of their vows of non-violence when a protest led by monks and citizens erupted in chaos. Protesters trashed and burned Chinese-owned shops, and as expected, the commie pigs unleashed on them Tiananmen Square style. The riots sparked uprisings in other parts of China, and protests in solidarity took place around the world. The Dalai Lama threatened to quit as Tibet's spiritual leader if the violence did not cease. But a new leader is waiting in the wings in case he quits. Enter the Dalai Lama. Okay, that was pretty tough name. In capitalist pig news, the stock market has been eating heaping spoonfuls of steaming dish this week as stockbrokers attempted to keep down their turd lunches while riding the Coney Island cyclone. Did you get all that?
We've got strong financial institutions. Our markets are the envy of the world. They're resilient, they're innovative, they're flexible.
Can someone please take his crack pipe away? The Fed has been working overtime to save what's left of the stock market by cutting interest rates and even bailing out a prominent investment bank. But do you think the Fed is going to bail you out when you default on your mortgage? I didn't think so. To make matters worse, the price of crude hit an all-time high of $112 a barrel. Also, the price of bread, heating oil, milk, dildos, frozen orange juice, eggs, parcheesi, coffee, and chia pets are also up. But never fear. Our brilliant commander will set things straight.
So I'm coming to you as an optimistic fellow. I've seen what happens when America deals with difficulty.
Yeah, what we do is start wars. In case you forgot, this week marked the 5th anniversary of the war for Iraq's oil, but you hardly heard a blip from the corporate media. The emissary of death himself, Dick Don't Go Hunting With Me Cheney, gave his assessment.
Reflect back on those 5 years, I think it's been a difficult, challenging, but nonetheless successful endeavor.
My fellow Americans, major combat operations in Iraq have ended. In the Battle of Iraq, the United States and our allies have prevailed.
Watch the blood drip down and embrace your own product as a baby cries out cause he lost his own father. And in the midst of hate, you bought your new product and the bombs rain down. Cause we can reuse your song and your music, your wallet, we want it. Now we'll never let you go. Oh, it only takes one shot. Do not miss a chance to blow. This opposition comes once in a lifetime. Cause we can reuse your song and your music, your wallet, we want it. Now we'll never let you go. Oh, it only takes one shot. Do not miss a chance to blow. This opposition comes once in a lifetime.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
American males are addicted to shoot-'em-up video games, but I've yet to find one that I will waste my time playing. Rockstar Games came close with State of Emergency, a first-person shooter in which all-out revolution is unleashed, but the cartoony style of the game and the incessant chanting of slogans really got on my nerves. A game I would play is one in which concerned citizens take over the government, put the president and his cabinet on trial, dissolve the union, destroy corporations, disarm the military-industrial complex, and return power to local communities. But unless Wafa Bilal makes this game, I doubt you'll ever see it. If you don't know who Wafa Bilal is, well, I'm about to tell you. Mr. Bilal is an Iraqi artist who lived under Saddam Hussein. During Gulf War I, Daddy Bush told the Iraqi people that if they revolted against Saddam, the US would back the rebellion. Well, now we know how good the Bushes are at keeping their word. Mr. Bilal joined the resistance and was almost executed for it, and now lives in exile in the good old US of A. In 2007, Wafa created an exhibit called Domestic Tension. The art piece involved him living in a gallery in Chicago, and viewers of the piece on his website were able to shoot at Bilal with a remote-controlled paintball at any time, day or night. More recently, Wafa created a video game exhibit called Virtual Jihadi, which was displayed at the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. That is, until the college Republicrats cried foul, and the piece University pulled the exhibit. Virtual Jihadi was then moved down the street to the Righteous Sanctuary for Independent Media, where more outraged citizens protested. But some of them didn't even know what the offending art was, and none of them had seen Virtual Jihadi.
I'm just out here to support my dad, you know.
But you don't know what the issue is?
I know that, something about art, that's it.
We're upset with the video.
The video?
Video game.
Uh-huh. What is the video game about?
From what I understand, it's an Al-Qaeda video that Mr. Bilal somehow procured, and I'd be interested in knowing how he got it.
It's on the internet.
That shady-looking motherfucker right there is Bob Murch, the main organizer of the protest. He is also the Public Works Commissioner of Troy, New York. You know, the guy who says if you can or can't hold public events in your building? Well, guess what happened to the Sanctuary of Independent Media the next day?
I work for the City of Troy, code enforcement. We're not going to be able to assemble anything down there. Nobody's going to be able to have any kind of assembly down there for anything until these violations have been corrected.
Yeah, you got it. That punk motherfucker shut him down. To find out what the big deal was with Virtual Jihadi, I spoke with Wafa Bilal himself. Hey Wafa, how the fuck are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Can you explain to me what the fuss is all about?
Well, Virtual Jihadi is a spin-off. It's a game first built by Jesse Petrella in 2003 to hunt Saddam. And then in 2005, Al-Qaeda took the game and modified it, turned it around to hunt Bush. What I'm doing with it now, and by the way, Al-Qaeda did only change the skin. What I'm doing, I'm inserting myself as a suicide bomber, an ever suicide bomber, to send on a mission by the first shooter.
So why the fuck did RPI shut down your exhibit?
Well, I think there are misunderstanding what I'm trying to do, and they did not give themselves a reason to come and have a better understanding of the issues I'm trying to address in this show.
Does this surprise you at all?
It is surprised me because it coming from an educational institution. I expect it to come from some different government agency, but not from the institution, educational institution. Censoring an artist and censoring, especially an artist, they invite themselves, and then they turn around to censor. I think it's not only a serious issue, but also it's a dangerous as well.
Does this type of censorship remind you of life under Saddam Hussein?
It's very much not only the censorship, but the way that RPI conducted the business. In Iraq, I was pulled out of classes a few times, and it's very similar here. I was pulled out of class at RPI to be investigated by the president.
Listen, I have a great idea for a project for you. Check it out. It's a game. You are a video blogger who masks his identity. Your goal is to hijack the TV signal of major corporations and broadcast video of George Bush wearing Laura Bush's lingerie. You could call it Pretty Impeach. Get it?
If he has the means to do this, I'll totally for it.
And that about does it for this edition of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine. If you get a chance, check out our brand spanking new front page at submedia.tv, where you can watch hours of streaming propaganda straight from my underground lair. If you want to check out more of Wafa Bilal's work, visit crudeoils.us. To send me revolutionary game ideas or to comment on this show, visit stimulator.tv. And remember, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Remember, kids, you can podcast high-quality video of this show at submedia.tv.
Everybody knew that it could happen. The likelihood was clear, the future was coming. And now it's here. They had to fix the levees, otherwise they'd break. On one side was the city, above it was the lake. It was in the daily papers, in bold letters was the writ. What would happen when the big one hit? But every year they cut the funding just a little more so they could give it to the army to fight their oil war. National Geographic and the Times-Picayune, they forecast the apocalypse, said it was coming soon. Preparations must be made, they said. Now is the time. It was years ago they shouted. Inaction was a crime. They said the dikes must be improved and the wetlands must be saved. But Washington decided instead they should be paved, 'cause malls were more important than people's lives. So put some gold dust in your eyes and hope no storm arrives. New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans. Years and years of warning, no evacuation plan. It was just for the waters rose. Get out if you can. There were no buses, no one chartered any trains. There was no plan to rescue all of those who would remain. All the people with no money, all the people with no wheels, all of those who couldn't hotwire one that they could steal. Thousands and thousands of people abandoned by the state, abandoned by their country, just left to meet their fate. New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans. People died. Then they died some more. They drowned inside their attics. An army of the poor, an army of the destitute who couldn't get away. And the world will remember those sad and awful days when people shouted from their houses, dying on their roofs. When people came to find them, they were turned back by the troops. They died there with no water. They died there in the heat. They were shot down by the soldiers for trying to find some food to eat. New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans. Now the city is in ruins, a massive toxic sea scattered through the nation. 500,000 refugees, here we are, in the richest country on the earth, where the color of your skin determines what your life is worth, where oil is the king, where global warming is ignored, where the very end of life is the place we're heading towards, where it's more than just a metaphor, the flooding of the dike. And if we don't stop this madness, the whole world will be like New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans, New Orleans.
Why am I so depressed and confused all the time? It's like I don't care about anything anymore. All I want to do is watch Fox News all day. I feel like I don't even know what's going on around me.
If you are experiencing symptoms like these, you could be suffering from corporate fasciitis. Corporate fasciitis is a disorder that affects millions of Americans each year. You are not alone.
Doctor, what causes this sickness?
Corporate fasciitis is an MTD. It's a media-transmitted disease. Let's take a look. First of all, let's open up the mouth. Say ah. Good. Any other symptoms?
I feel afraid all the time.
You see, as mainstream media enters your head, the misinformation releases a contagion. This contagion triggers a process similar to brainwashing. This disorder, which spreads throughout the central nervous system and eventually throughout the entire body, causes extreme cynicism and social lethargy.
So my television's poisoning me.
Not just your television, unfortunately, but also the radio and print media.
So what can I do, Doctor?
Well, fortunately for you, there's an easy solution. What you need is Indymedia Presents. Why, with a weekly dose of independent media from PepperSpray Productions, you can be back to your old self again, enjoying life, and most importantly, thinking for yourself.
Now I feel hopeful again, and I can take an active part in my community and the world around me. Thanks, Indymedia Presents.
Warning, regular ingestion of independent media may cause increased consciousness, acute political awareness, counter-hegemonic activity, enlarged cranial capacity, excessive hopefulness, and bloated critical thinking abilities. Ask your doctor if Indymedia Presents is right for you.
I saw Mumia's son giving a speech. He said, "Free my father." And I thought, Mumia's been in jail his kid's whole life. On a humbug, too. Life on a humbug. A whole life in jail on a humbug. Or maybe not. Maybe a whole life in jail for words that sound no surrender. They just made up the humbug. I know it was the words. I know 'cause I have heard the words. I have listened. And I was wondering, what must he dream about after a whole life in jail on a humbug? What must he dream about when he closes his eyes, leans his dreads back, laying up against the cold cell bars? When his mind runs to the world he is kept away from? What must he dream after a whole life in jail on a humbug? And I was wondering, what would I show Mumia if I could give him something to dream about, leaning his dreads up against the cold cell bars after lights out, after the toilets have flushed and the silence is broken only by dreams? Mumia, come take a tour of my neighborhood. Oh, I know they won't let you out, but folks round here have been having illegal fun ever since they outlawed the potlatch. Hell, they Jim Crow'd jazz on Jackson Street, and there's plenty of old folks round here did time in the camps. So you're among friends, Mumia. It doesn't matter you can't be here in your physical self. Come on, dream a little trip round my neighborhood, the Rainier Valley, south end of Seattle. Come with me and I'll show you murals. This is outside art. And you could use a little outside, if you know what I mean. These murals are all about people's hopes and dreams. These are the most sacred and the most common of the people's dreams because we all dream of a better day. These are the dreams we almost don't dare dream. but we do it anyway when nobody's looking. We dream of life with each other, life with all the other parts of the people, with the boy or the girl down the street forever. We dream of harmony, happiness, fun like a bouncing basketball that dances on its own between hand and asphalt for the pure joy of movement. And I was wondering what I'd show Mumia of the world he is kept away from for a lifetime on a humbug. The culture of communities bursting forth from abandoned gas stations like cherry blossoms on bare branches in spring. The pride of knowing the past, of the suffering of the people, their struggles, the grand moments. Oh, I bring you here, Mumia, to the Filipino Hall, over on MLK, south end of Seattle. Mumia, dream a while of these folks' struggles. Silme Domingo and Jean Viernes, murdered, martyrs, just like yourself. But the people have struggled on, forgetting not the price nor the prize. I'd like to send you a dream, Mumia, of the world beyond your cell. Mumia, locked up for a lifetime, locked up for the lifetime of your son. I want to tell you that we are coming behind. We are trying to have your back. We are carrying on. We are carrying on. We are carrying on. Now come with me, Brother Mumia, to a couple garages near my house. Because, Mumia, I want you to dream a good dream. I want you to dream that the message got through. Mumia, I want you to dream the truth. You who have been locked up a whole lifetime on a humbug. The first garage is Rage Against the Machine, about what happens to our leaders like you. He turned the power to the have-nots, and then came the shot. Now I say, you spoke truth, Mumia, and they have kept you away from life with its grand moments and its romances. You spoke truth. And they have kept you away on a humbug for a lifetime. So dream, Brother Mumia, dream a dream that we know of your sacrifice. Dream a true dream that we know you are entombed alive. Brother Mumia, you deserve so much more than this little tour of the murals near my house. But it is all I have right now, so I send it as a thank you from someone who comes behind. Next to the Rage Garage is a second garage. It lays it all out, Brother Mumia. You who have been kept in a concrete tomb, you who refuses to go peacefully, and the concrete walls not quite thick enough to silence your words. Brother Mumia, this garage is sacred ground. On it live the words of Malcolm X, who, as you know, was no stranger to struggle or martyrdom. He says, don't lay down your life, preserve it. It's the best thing you got. And if you got to give it, let it be even Steven. Oh, Brother Mumia, dream the truth and know this. Witnessed before the murals on garages near my house in the south end of Seattle. Brother Mumia, I believe you are innocent. Brother Mumia, lifetime in jail, maybe yet to die in some chair or a gas-tight compartment or on the tip of a poisonous needle. Brother Mumia, a lifetime behind bars on a humbug, Brother Mumia, who did not kill the cop, but who was locked up instead for the strength of your words. Brother Mumia, know this, testified to in front of a garage in the south end of Seattle. Brother Mumia, oh, Brother Mumia, whose words have sounded no surrender, whose words and cause have brought many into political life. Oh, Brother Mumia, with your words, your son's whole life, with your words, you have more than made it, even Stephen.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the information purification directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of being contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people. One will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will